Merchant Navy.
No, that's all bullshit.
Yeah, well, I like bullshit.
No.
Macy's can spread it better than anybody else I know.
No. But I don't do all that stuff. You know, when I'm drunk, it's all different.
You weren't drunk when you told me that. Or at least you didn't know you were.
Yeah. No. Them are all good times. Good times and bad times.
And you're not going to do it, are you?
No.
Well, you joined at what, 14?
Hey?
How old were you when you went in? 14?
I joined the Navy. I was 17.
17.
I forged my birth certificate, and I only had grade 7. You needed grade 8. Terry McLaughlin. I don't know if you remember Terry McLaughlin. He was the run. I got this thing out of school. With Terry McLaughlin did grade 8. You know, written that out for me, and I went and got the birth certificate, and I scraped that off and changed it to made me older to get in.
Did you have to steal that birth certificate from the nuns?
No, I went and got one. I went and got one at where you get them. You know.
Okay, yeah.
And then when I got it home,
you readjusted it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And I was young doing all that stuff too, you know.
Yeah.
I had in my mind I was going to do it. And the funny part, I'm going to be honest with you, when I went and took off and joined the Navy, or I used to take off anyway every now and then, my mother never said a word, but I know it bothered her. But that's the way she was. She wouldn't say a word. Never say a word, you know. Because she could have stopped me when I went in the Navy and all that. You know, she's not old enough. I don't know what had happened then. I'd have went and
in the brig.
Back, you know. Yeah. But that's the way it was. And I don't know if you remember Bryce Sherlin, poor Bryce Sherlin. He was older enough. He was old enough to get in the Navy. And he had the education. And we both went down to go to do all this tests, you know, and write out all this bullshit. He had the education, he had everything else, and he failed. And I never had nothing, and I passed. That's funny.
He had the Macy smarts.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. All through my life, I've been that way. I know that. Look, I fought more fights for people than enough. That's my life. It's no way for me, you know.
Well, you used to organize ships around the world too, didn't you?
Yeah.
In the ports? Struck them?
Yeah. That was all the fun part of everything.
Well, I remember Sally telling me, I think you had, back in the 50s, they came in looking at you as if you were communist?
Yeah, oh, yeah, right. Well, they pulled me off.
Yeah.
They pulled me off with the ship. But I got, before I could sign another one, they said, you're a communist, you know. And I had a hard time to go through all that bullshit. You know, I was no more communist enough, but that's the way I spoke. I still speak this way. I'm a little different than most people, I guess. I don't know. But the way at that time, they figured you were a communist, you see. But that didn't bother me.
You knew what you were.
I knew what I was, and they never changed me. And one goddamn iota. But I often thought about poor mother. She must have got fed up sometimes, you know, the poor soul.
Yes, with this wonderful son who came home for a visit, and all of a sudden he'd pack his bags and hide them in the basement and sneak out in the middle of the night, and she wouldn't even get a goodbye.
Yeah.
Poor woman.
But the old man said nothing wrong with that. He said, oh, he just wanted to say, and he was right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And he and Jimmy Woods used to be in the basement, didn't they?
Yeah.
They'd go to the basement, he'd have a little drink down there.
Right.
And they'd follow you around the world on the map. See, I remember some of it.
Yeah, that's right. They had a map down there.
Now, who was the Woods I just met? John Woods. He'd be 45, 50 years old, maybe?
John Woods older than I am. He's closer to 60. But he's Bonnie Woods' Ralph Woods' son. Is that the right one? Or
I'm not sure. Well, there's a Mike Woods and a John Woods. Mike's the superintendent of the RCMP.
Okay.
And they knew Stephen really well, so I'm assuming they'd be in around Stephen's age.
Okay, good. Then it could be a different one that I'm thinking, because.
But they knew the house. They knew the house. They knew.
John, yeah. There's a Woods that live on Victoria Street. There's Bonnie and Heather, and their older brother was John.
Okay.
And he played hockey with Harry.
Yes, this one here, there would have been two brothers. There was Mike and John.
Okay, so then that's likely one of the Woods boys that lived next door to you guys.
Oh, Jim Woods and them.
Could be Jim's
Yeah,
son.
yeah, Jimmy's son. I think that was it.
Could be.
Yeah, but one of them is running the all the RCMP in Ontario now.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's three superintendents in Canada at that level, and two of them
Yeah.
are from Camelton.
Go away.
The other one's a LeBlanc or Levesque or something, French guy. But
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
no.
Yeah.
So were you in the Navy long? Before they figured you out?
No, I was in there about 3 years, I guess, and then I joined the Merchant Navy after that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to get in there. I just crazy, I guess, like everything else.
Everybody else was at the time. Too.
Yeah.
But did you not want to see the world? Wasn't that part of it?
What's that?
Did you not want to see all the different places and how other
Oh,
people
well, sure,
live?
sure. But let's face it, why I did all this stuff, I don't know. But I had in my mind to do it because I was forging everything,
Yeah.
you know. But my mother never said a word.
What year was that?
Oh, Christ, don't ask me now.
Was it wartime or shortly after?
Oh, it was
Wartime.
wartime.
Yeah.
Just be about 43 or something, it's around that, 44, 43.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So here in the city, what did you do for besides the union work? What was your trade here in the city?
In the sea, I was an able-bodied seaman. And then I become a foreman and after many ships and all that, worked but able-bodied seaman most of the time. After I got out of the Navy, because I was an able-bodied seaman in the Navy.
Mhm.
And then when I joined these merchant ships, it's the way you join. That was the good part, I'm telling you.
So where did you travel? What did you see?
New Zealand and Australia, New Zealand, all that around the coast, and just a kid.
And Australia's got a lot of Macy's down there too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Macy's in Australia. I found
Is there
out.
something you didn't tell us, Gordon?
Yeah.
Never thought of that.
In New Zealand coast, you sailed all right around that. It was lovely, That was the good part.
Where did you like most, best? What place?
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Yeah. But then I got thrown off over in Holland or someplace. I got thrown in jail over there. I struck a ship over there.
What does that mean, you struck a ship?
Well, I went on strike.
Oh, okay.
In a foreign
Organized,
country, in a foreign country, that's what they call mutiny.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they call mutiny. So they threw us all in the...
So did you organize that strike?
Oh, sure. I was and I was only a kid too.
The conditions were pretty poor, so somebody steps up.
Well, well, actually the whole thing is they were trying to we had a few Canadian ships at that time, and what they were trying to do was put foreign flags on them, and then get cheaper labor. And that's what we were fighting for. And that's when we go in that foreign country, we struck that ship. It was mutiny, that's the way it goes. They threw us in the immigration jail, threw another crew over to take the ship over, and that was the end of that. And after they were all gone, they let us out and work our way back. I got a little late boat, and I signed on it, and I come back to Montreal.
So you must think a lot of the old Prime Minister having all his ships registered offshore then.
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah. But that's the way it went, eh? But now we got no Canadian ships. That's the whole problem with everything.
Yeah, because of the taxation.
Yeah. See, at that time they were putting foreign flags on them, but they're still the same owners. But put foreign flags on them so they can make more money.
Yeah.
But that was part of life,
Ron Joyce says the guy who owned Tim Hortons has a yacht and he had it docked in Halifax. Canadian government told you have 72 hours to get it out or you're going to have to pay the HST on it. And he moved it out because he had it registered offshore, but his HST, just the sales tax on the boat, was $42 million. That's how big his yacht is.
Yeah.
That's 15% of the value of the ship. So
When you get money like that, it's just like pennies that,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the way it goes. I don't know.
I thought that somewhere you got thrown off the ship and you had to swim. Was I dreaming that?
You were dreaming. I did. No, you're talking about one ship. There's no two ways about that one.
Okay.
We're going to dock or something,
Yeah.
and or leave, and I jumped over, and well, I just forget where that was, but I was loaded too, eh?
Oh,
I was lucky, actually. I'll be honest with you.
I had enough alcohol in it to make the water feel warm.
I had a coat on, long coat on, and everything else. I was lucky there. I'll be honest with you. Good job someone noticed it, eh?
So they have to get you back on ship?
Oh yeah, right.
No, so it was one of the crewmen that didn't like you.
No, it was my own fault. I went to jump on. We had the ladders down, and you're like walking up. But I went to get on, and I was drunk, of course, and I fell in the water. And then that's when someone noticed and come down and pulled the door. And that was in cold water too.
You're bad as a cat. You've got 9 lives.
Well, no, there's no two ways about it. That was in cold weather too. I think it was in Sydney or someplace.
Were you ever in Italy?
Italy? No.
We had a friend of mine was a sailor. He 47. He went back to college. He was in my class.
Yeah.
They go to Italy. They take all the jerry cans for water, dump all the water out, and fill it with wine.
Yeah, right.
He says we have 700 gallons of wine. He said everybody be just snoggered for weeks.
Well, there's a lot of places over there around France. A lot of places that can do that. They got the barrels of wine just as you go on the ship, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no two ways about that. You'd have no problem.
Well, and he said it was safer to drink the wine than it was the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm looking at that. We should likely be heading
We gotta
out.
get down there.
We should likely be heading out.
Yeah, nice to see you. Take it easy.